Welcome back to episode 6 of this Let's Play of Might and Magic 6, The Mandate of Heaven. Okay, let's get started. Last episode we got through this vault door here, which was a combination lock and a puzzle that I solved in a fairly unconventional way. This time we have no quests to do anything in the remainder here, but I want to clear it out just for the sake of the XP and the gold. But it is going to be quite tedious. There's nothing in here that's particularly interesting. There's nothing in the way of any challenging encounters. It's entirely going to be trash mobs that I'm going to be picking off at a distance with a bow. So what I'm going to do, the plan is that I'm going to record the whole thing and then I'll speed it up in post and then I'll whack a voiceover over that when I've brought it down to 10 or 15 minutes or so. I will babble over it so that I don't have to just keep trying to find things to say for like half an hour or 45 minutes or however long it would take in real time. So I'm going to start speeding it up after this sentence and then you'll hear me speak stuff in the future. So let's get this dungeon out of the way because I'm very keen to get off the new Sopical map and let's go a little further into the game. But we need to get this dungeon out of the way. Let's do that now. Okay, so you're now watching me play through this dungeon at high speed. Through the second half, the fairly routine second half of this dungeon of Goblinwatch. My strategy here, just the same as ever, to keep things at a distance and attack them with ranged. I see it's working really, really well because one of our guys is already poisoned there. I don't know what this large blue thing is supposed to be in this room. It's non-interactive and it's not very clear. Maybe it'll be clearer later. Yeah, we're just going to dive down a hole there like no one would actually ever do. So this is the patch feature I was using. It was double speed, as it was in the rest of the video as well, and I've sped that up. I've sped the video up in post by another 150%. So we're actually watching gameplay about 300% speed at the moment. And judging by the result, this seems a pretty decent speed. The action seems largely intelligible, and I think this is going to work fairly well as a speed to for some of the more routine sections of the game that I'm not going to skip over entirely. So this is probably something. This high speed sort of strategy is, I think, something that I will employ a lot more of as this Let's Play continues. Just one change that I have to make here, though, is that I'm going to have to play a little bit in advance. I'm going to have to play a little bit ahead of the recordings. Otherwise, I won't know in time whether to, comment on something in real time or leave a gap to do the voiceover later, because I won't know whether whether the action is going to sustain at regular speed or high speed. We found a tunnel back to the start there. We just ran in, got surrounded and died. That was good. Yeah. So here we see an example again. I've spoken about this before, but it's very clear here of the very poor AI pathfinding in this game. The AI almost non-existent. Essentially, enemies will just try and move directly towards you, regardless of what is in the way. If that means they've just run into the corner of a room, they seem to have no real problem doing that. Their movements are randomized just a little bit, but essentially it won't generally get them out of being stuck in the corner if that's what they want to do. I really hope the AI in this game, or in the sequels to this game, improves, because it is somewhat frustrating when you have to run into a room and risk being surrounded by everything in it, because that's the only way that you can engage anything in that room. Yeah, the second half of this dungeon, we're just sort of going room by room, taking a lot of stuff. There's some loot sitting around, more than I think there was in the first dungeon that we did in the Abandoned Temple. We'll identify most of it later, but most of it is going to be vendor trash. There's nothing here in the way of a particularly challenging boss, nor in the way of really good loot. Most of it will be sold. There are a few bits that we probably will end up using on our characters. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to play ahead from now on these Let's Plays, so I can strategize how I'm going to make these things. I think that's probably not going to be an altogether bad thing for the quality of the Let's Play. If I know what's coming up, I can probably be a little more interesting about things than otherwise. The plan for what is going to happen after this is the last thing that we have, at least currently, got access to on the introductory map of this game, the new Sorpigal area map. The game will open up after this, and we have a few different options where to go. The obvious choice is to go back to Castle Iron Fist, where we had a very quick visit earlier, just to pick up, just to hand in a quest, get some gold very early on, and be able to get bow skills on all of our characters. But we didn't really do anything else there, and the main quest will be the next step in the main quest will, I think, be given to us by the regent who's sitting on the throne in Castle Iron Fist. So we could go there, but there are other places that we can go to as well. I think there definitely going to be we're definitely going to be running into increased difficulty wherever we go. This first map and the dungeons within it, everything's been very straightforward. Nothing's really proved a major challenge to us. But I think as we go forward, we will find that there are a lot more characters that will use more damaging skills and spells, or be equipped with ranged weapons, and our bow cannon technique isn't necessarily going to be all that effective anymore. So we're going to definitely need to get some more offensive skills and spells all sorted out. We may run into places that we can't hack, that we have to return to later. We are going to be fairly unrestricted in our travels. It's not a very linear game. It's fairly open-ended. Nice piece of armor we just came across there. We'll identify that later, but it looks pretty good. So our freedom of movement will not be particularly restricted, aside from the places where we just die immediately due to the enemies that surround us. The difficulty level does not level with the characters like in more recent Elder Scrolls games. There will be places that we will be beaten back from and have to return to later when we're more powerful. So that's what's next for this playthrough. Coming up for the channel, I want to get into some sort of different types of content, and one of the things that I'm quite keen on trying to do is the occasional more researched and more scripted piece about gaming history. And I want to start off with a sort of an overview of the Might and Magic series from start to finish. The technological developments, not so much in terms of plot, but the games when they came out and how they differ, and the story of the company that made them. So I don't know when that's going to come out. I'm in the very, very early stages of doing the research for it, but it may be something that you can find on the channel in the next couple of months. Okay, it looks as though we've finished up the dungeon now, so I'll shut up and we can get back to me playing this game in real time. Okay, we're back in real time, and you just hopefully saw a sped up version of that, the second half of that dungeon. Not very interesting, I've got to say, but I really wanted to get it out of the way, and I wanted to do it on camera since the first part had been done on camera and everything. Alright, before we sign off, let's just check out. It's closed. We can rest though until we just missed it closing by 13 minutes. We can rest until the dawn. Let's check out a piece of armor that we just got that I think may be quite good. Let's see. See, 3 of our characters wear leather armor. Plus 10 armor of poison resistance. Well, since we seem to have poison issues, shall we say? Well, weak, diseased, weak. What does weak mean? I've never seen weak. Well, I think this is going to be useful to our characters, so let's give our cleric that stuff. And then we've got some, he's just freed up some leather armor of endurance. Is that better than anyone else's? Well, is leather armor plus 4 of endurance plus 4 better than unenchanted leather armor plus 6? I don't know. But I'm going to assume that it is. And give it to our sorceress here. So, I'll sell up and stuff, but I'll do that off camera. That'll be it for this episode. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.